Hello class, it is no secret at this point that I've watched a lot of reality TV. There is one consistent complaint I have across every franchise. Well, other than the obvious ethical and moral concerns that any franchise has that makes me feel guilty by association. Where are the gay people? No, actually, where's my community? The bisexuals. Straight nonsense can be fun and all, but just imagine if every Real Housewives fight just also had a bisexual man from Brooklyn with a matcha in his hand in it. Past all the screaming, you just hear faint sounds of Claro. The first reality dating show I ever watched, it was not The Bachelor, but a completely different, broken show. It finally gave me the content I yearned for. A queer season of mess.
I'm bisexual and I love it.
Are You the One from MTV got 9 seasons from 2014 to 2019. Originally, it would be 10 men and 10 women were put in a large Airbnb to party, fight, and on very, very rare occasions, fall in love. Prior to the contestants coming on the show, each of them went through an extensive matchmaking process, which of course we never really learn about in the specifics other than they got asked a bunch of questions. Beyond that, it's a secret they'll never tell. And the matchmakers then paired each contestant with another person, and the matchmakers determined that that person was their perfect match. Not to be confused with Perfect Match on Netflix. This is a Nick Lachey free zone, I promise. The premise itself was simple enough. These people suck at dating. If their perfect match, their soulmate, was looking right at them, would they even know it? The contestants would then have 10 weeks to guess who their perfect match partner was, and if they guessed all 10 of them correctly, they got $1 million. Granted, it was splitted amongst all 20 of them, but still $1 million. During the span of the show, each week the house competes to go on dates. The house picks one of the couples who went on that date to go into the truth booth, and the truth booth will tell everyone if they're a perfect match or not a match. If they're a perfect match, the lovers are exiled to a separate hotel for the rest of the filming time called the honeymoon suite, when if they're wrong, they gotta keep guessing. Then each week there's a matchup ceremony where either the men or the women pick who they think their match is. Depending on how many they guess correctly, correlating beams of light will jump into the sky.
Behind me are 8 beams of light.
Oh! And y'all, these beams are a huge deal.
Give me a beam!
These drunk 20-somethings want to see as many blinding LEDs in the sky as possible. But when the beams shoot up, they don't know who those matches represent. And if they fail to get any beams, any perfect matches, that's called a blackout. And the group loses a collective $250K from the prize pool each time this happens. Here's the thing, some of you nerds may be saying right now, okay, so after a couple of weeks, if they're strategic with who they put in the truth booth and who they match up with each week, pretty quickly they can just mathematically suss out who all the perfect matches are. Gonna be honest, that kind of stuff, the prediction charts from the Are You the One math blog, witchcraft to me. Pretty much since the inception of the show, people have been begging for a queer season. On the previous seasons, it was exclusively man-woman pairings. But what if we walked into the house and literally everyone there was a possible option for you? This just raises the stakes of finding all the matches even more. A house full of people who are all open to dating someone of any gender, even in the queer community, I feel like this is unprecedented. I think especially for people who are bisexual and pan. Yes, there have in my life probably been times where I've been in a room with 15 other bisexuals, but you know what? I would never be able to tell because me and the other bi women would just be nervously calling each other pretty and assume it was platonic and go home. This was a free-for-all where everyone is running off pure white monster energy and Smirnoff. No matter what, it was always going to be chaos.
Hashtag boy, whatever, judge me for it. But also, if you were in this house, wouldn't you do the same thing too?
With that being said, I wanted to walk you through one of my favorite seasons of reality television. Before we really get into it, I wanted to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a book subscription service. Every single month, their editorial team pours through hundreds of new releases and picks a curated list for you to choose from. My Book of the Month picks for this month are The Second Chance Cinema by Thea Weiss. I am just a sucker for magical realism. I eat it up every time. This book is basically about a couple who finds a theater that replays some of the formative memories from their life before their wedding night. And through watching these memories, they sort of piece together parts of their past that they've forgotten and also decide how that's going to shape their future in a fun little existential way. I also got The Haunting of Payne's Hollow because it's October, I'm going to read a supernatural horror. Book of the Month offers the best prices on new release hardback books, which is made even better with their free shipping and their loyalty program that helps you save more as you continue with the subscription. For a limited time only, when you join Book of the Month, you get your first book for $5 plus a free hat of your choosing when you use the code CANDY. As you can see, I've made my selection. I highly recommend. So thank you again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video, and let's get into it. Same rules apply here as my usual reality TV recaps. These are all real people on an edited show from several years ago at this point as well. So take everything with a grain of salt, but for the sake of storytelling, we'll pretty much be going by the show as it's presented. All right, first off, I think to give them even a fighting chance, this year the cast was only 16 people, 8 couples, instead of the standard 10 to 11 on the straight seasons. As you can imagine, when all these people meet for the first time, the queers are overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed.
They've never seen that many people with clear phone cases in their lives. Listen, I joke because it's my culture. Let me introduce you to some of the contestants. Basit, inarguably the star of the season. Basit is non-binary and trans femme and uses she/they pronouns. She also has a drag persona, Dion Slay, who does not appear nearly enough on the show. Basit immediately sets her sights on Jonathan. Jonathan just has this majestic head of hair, and he works at a bank.
Bank manager.
Yeah.
What kind of bank management?
For a bank?
What more could you ask for? But the thing is, this entire season is basically like the plot of 12th Night. Everyone here likes someone who likes someone else. And also half the people are in drag. It's great. Jonathan has his eyes on Justin. Justin likes holes.
I guess I'll go with a donut because I like them holes.
I mean, who among us, right? But pretty quickly you realize that Jonathan has a lot of preferences on physical appearance. And listen, I actually don't think that reality show contestants are as villainous as they're presented a lot of the times when they admit they're not physically attracted to another person. But I think, at least with the way it's edited with Jonathan, it comes off a lot more than just a preference and just some strange opinions about what someone's physical appearance correlates to their personality.
Physical appearance to me is very important because
I can tell.
What you're failing to realize is when I say physical appearance is someone who's concerned about their health.
Jonathan says on multiple occasions that he wants someone like Justin or Brandon because they have ripped bodies. And if they have ripped bodies, that means they put a lot of effort into the gym. And that would also mean that they put a lot of effort into their relationships. I'm starting to see why Jonathan might be single.
Jonathan, like at the end of the day, you're trying to convince me that your connection is with someone who literally, quote of the day was, I like holes.
Next, there's Kai. Kai is trans mask and is still fairly early in terms of his medical transition, at least. On the show, you actually get to see him take some of his testosterone, which I think is pretty big for reality TV representation. We all know that there is nothing more dangerous than a trans mask with bleach blonde hair. Kai knows the power that he wields, and this season, he will absolutely use those powers for tomfoolery.
I like Jenna, but like, this is a hot house. Everybody here is real hot.
Kai and Jenna lock eyes and just instantly connect. I mean, it's Jenna's birthday. Let her have a little birthday smooch. Am I right? Nor. Easily the most Aries individual I think I've seen in a house just chock full of fire signs. Nor also immediately connects with Amber. Amber says that while she tends to be physically attracted to men, she's more emotionally attracted to women. She also will not date someone unless they are a fan of Harry Potter.
Literally ask for the most simplest thing. Like I asked for honesty, I asked for communication, I asked for the person to be as obsessed with Harry Potter as I am.
Which I think has slightly different implications in 2019 versus 2025. Amber and Nor connect over both having conservative fathers who neither of them have come out to. Nor also reveals that she was married previously at 21, all because of this conservative pressure that she comes from. These two are convinced that they're a perfect match, which are you the one experts know? Anyone who says on day one that they're a match just guaranteed to break up midway through the show in the most devastating fashion. Justin is also interested in Noor. Remember, this is 12th night, so we've got Basit into Jonathan, Jonathan into Justin, Justin into Noor, Noor into Amber, and Amber is into Harry Potter. You follow?
Amber came in and like swooped her straight from under me. And I was like, well.
Then there's Jonathan.
Justin, though, is prepared to fight for Noor. He will twerk on her. The first act of war. The next day, the contestants had their first challenge, which let me tell you right now, I am going to try my best to skip over these challenges as much as possible because they're basically all the same. Here is my impression of the mid-30s host in the 2010s introducing a challenge on Are You the One? Hey besties who suck at dating, don't you hate it when bae is not on fleek and ghosts your emojis? Well, for this challenge, you must finesse your way through this inflatable obstacle course that we rented for $50 an hour that symbolizes red flags in relationships because you guys are what? Bad at dating. Am I right, fam squad? I'm not kidding, that's what it sounds like. Also this season, for the first time, they've got this relationship expert named Dr. Frankie. Dr. Frankie is mostly there this season to give very generalizable advice like use words to communicate.
I beat bitches up. And in this house, I haven't had to put my hands on nobody.
Yeah, because that's not the best solution, right?
Yay, no violence.
Also, she vaguely looks like Pink, so every time she's on screen, I just think of this quote.
I'm gay. Actually, I'm not.
Although Amber is a little jealous, Noor pairs up with Justin for the challenge and they win a date alongside Basit and Kylie and Jasmine and Paige. Basit and Kylie clearly can't be a perfect match because their face cards combined would just be way too powerful. Paige is newly out and is one of the youngest cast members on the show, and she's basically using this show as a way to come out to the world. Paige and Jasmine's date immediately cuts off because Jasmine is someone who's a bit older and who has been out since she was 14 years old. She feels like she's too far past the coming out stage to date someone who is only just starting to get comfortable in the queer community. Even though Noor agreed to team up with Justin, the edit and her confessionals show she's having some regrets about that decision. Noor has, for the most part, only dated men just because of the household she grew up in, and she realizes that in going for Justin, she may have been defaulting to what she felt was the safe option, like she might back at home. Justin, however, none the wiser, and apparently neither is the rest of the house because they are the first couple sent into the truth booth. Justin, thrilled. Noor?
What answer are you looking for?
I just need to know the answer.
Honestly, though, if I was on the first date of this show and I didn't even really like them, I wouldn't want to go into that truth booth either. The people who go into the truth booth first have the worst deal because if they're a confirmed match, they're just sitting and staring into space for the next 10 weeks. Sure, her and Justin both like holes, but I feel like that's a topic of conversation for, what, a week maximum? But I love the melodrama of the truth booth. The fake laser scanners, this suspenseful electronic music. It all just reminds me that this is a deeply scientific peer-reviewed process. Justin and Noor, a no match. Justin can sense that Noor is relieved that they're not a match, which I understandably is a little bit embarrassing, so he confronts her. All right, fine, Noor says. If we're being honest, I was pretty sure Amber was my match and not you.
Did you want it to be a match? Like, did you want it?
Do you want me to be honest?
To which Justin says, well, what the hell? I went for my number one. I picked you.
Like, follow your heart. Like, that's why we're here. Just try. Like, give it your all. Because otherwise you're just wasting people's time. And you're wasting my time.
Follow your heart, Noor, you evil witch. Jonathan chimes into this conversation and is like, yeah, everyone should be following their heart. Oh, hey, Justin, didn't see you there. That's so crazy.
And I was like, well.
Then there's Jonathan.
But someone else has already swooped in on Justin. Max.
Dude, I love, like, good lads, man.
You love a good lat?
I love a good lat.
Max has the intensity I could only expect from a blue-eyed individual from Ohio. Similar to Paige, this house is his first real opportunity to explore romantic connections with men. Although he has had more casual experiences to his family and even to himself, he has sort of repressed this aspect of himself, even though he's felt like he's out. Justin can't really read Max's feelings about him because Max is still coming to terms with some of his internalized phobias. Thanks for the lap massage, bro. I'm gonna go experience derealization in the hot tub.
This entire situation has me f***ed up.
Kai and Jenna still drunkenly all over each other. But as I pointed out earlier, Kai has bleach blonde hair. If you think Jenna is the only one interested in him with a house full of millennial queers, you're just foolish.
I'm in a house full of people where I'm like, here's all the opportunity that I pretend I don't want in the real world.
Kai has never had this amount of attention before, and he is going to enjoy it to the fullest. He's non-monogamous, and hey, he's having a wild hormone adjustment. So yeah, he's gonna take Remy to the boom boom room while Jenna is distracted. And it's not just Remy. Kai's flirting with a lot of people in this house.
There's a reason why teenage boys are horny all the time.
That's Kai. Kai want all of us.
Jenna is understandably not thrilled when she sees that Kai and Remy are hooking up. Initially, she is very upset and blames herself actually for being jealous, which is not a good sign.
That makes me feel like jealousy to me is big plate of anger, side salad of self-doubt and self-hatred.
Unlike Kai, Jenna doesn't do open relationships.
They're kind of more open to open relationships, and to me that's a landmine, so...
I think that's a personal landmine.
Even though everyone's single here, I think it's human nature to get a little jealous. That's what the show wants you to do. But Kai's like, claim your territory, babes.
I don't mean this in any type of egotistical way, but like, clearly there's a lot of people that are expressing interest in me, but I've been expressing interest in you, and you've been doing it to me back, so find me and claim your territory.
He's definitely the kind of guy who wants Elisa Rinna to slap her hands on the table for him.
But I would define like what you and I were doing was intimate, and what Remy and I did was we just, like I would not define that as intimate.
Like, did you actually...
But Jenna says, you know what? I've been to therapy, I might be jealous, but you know what? That isn't fair of me. We're all open here. And even though I have my feelings, you have every right to explore. Honestly, it comes across like Jenna is trying to play like the cool girlfriend thing, which is noble, but also we all know that that doesn't end well. And that is also not the response that Kai was anticipating.
Jenna's confusing me because she's telling me that she's a jealous person, but she's also being so reasonable about it.
So back to the boom boom room, Kai goes with Jenna. That night, we have the first matchup ceremony. And you know the melodrama of the truth booth? They continue that with the matchup ceremonies and have all of the couples scan their fingers on giant iPads. I think that they should commit to the next level and have every cast member do a finger prick to commit to their perfect match. Generally speaking, the matchup ceremonies are very drawn out and boring, so we're just gonna speed through them. Noor picks Amber. Carrie, who you might recognize from Netflix's Perfect Match, and I think a furry dating show or something, she picks Kylie because loyalty, they both like loyalty. Max picks Justin, to which Jonathan is of course annoyed.
You think Max is messing things up?
I feel like Max is messing things up.
Basit picks Jonathan. Aisha, who gets way too little screen time, picks Paige. Remy picks Brandon, another contestant who gets next to no screen time. Jasmine picks Jenna, stealing her from Kai. Jasmine is to the point. She's like, listen, Jenna needs someone who can be monogamous, give her love and attention, and that's me. Suck it, Kai. So that leaves Danny and Kai left over. Danny is the nerd of this season, if you couldn't already tell by the glasses. He knows what peripheral vision is.
Here's a fact. You can't see color in your peripheral vision.
I love knowing stuff.
What color is it?
Orange.
He uses the word equilibrium, and he is, as you will come to see, severely overlooked by the cast this season. Danny is like, hell yeah, Kai seems cool. And Kai is just like, thanks.
Any interest between you two at all?
Yeah, I'm into Kai. Kai's cute, Kai's funny, Kai is the life of the party, and that's all really sexy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lock in.
First week, remember, they're basically going off nothing. So the chances of them blacking out are very, very high. But they get 2 out of 8 perfect matches on the first go. And I will leave it to you to guess who those two couples were. Don't look it up. Eyes on this screen only, okay? After the matchup ceremony, we see Basit and Jonathan talking outside. Remember, Basit was initially drawn to Jonathan, but we never really saw them interact before this. This conversation is uncomfortable.
When getting to know someone like Basit, who is non-binary, I would never, ever make a move to take it to the next level. It's just like never like aroused me. And
Jonathan basically says that he is not interested in non-binary people, which does feel contrary to the premise of the show because everyone here is supposed to be interested in everybody. And when I say that, I don't literally mean that just because Jonathan identifies as sexually fluid on the show that he is automatically attracted to literally every person on Earth. I just mean that Jonathan saying categorically Basit being non-binary is a no-go for Jonathan in the real world. That just seems like a contradiction of the setup of the show. He says that he only likes feminine women or masculine men, which again, I think having a preference is fine. On the show, though, it doesn't come across as particularly sensitive to Basit's feelings, or to non-binary people, I think, at large. Jonathan again says that his number 1 and number 2 are Justin and Brandon because big muscles. But this is Are You the One? Physical appearance-based attraction is an absolute no-go. Jonathan seemingly tries to deflect Basit's suspicion that they were one of the beams from that matchup ceremony, and it's like, hey, Basit, you know what? I think Danny, yeah, you know Danny? The one no one wants in this house? I think he's your perfect match. And Basit is like, that's contrived. You think I want to be with Danny? But also seems like you're judging my appearance and gender expression and writing off exploring an actual connection with me because of that, which is kind of messed up. To which Danny says,
I think that what's really happening is that Jonathan is not as woke as Basit is.
And Jonathan is from Florida, so, you know. Basit becomes really emotional about this because this kind of rejection based on their identity is painfully familiar to them.
Goes to show that you can be in a house full of people that you feel like you can connect with and that feel like they understand you and they don't, just don't.
It's sad that even in a house where everyone is sexually fluid, some people in this house still seem to be closed off to queer relationships, and especially people who don't conform to gender norms perfectly. And that exists within the real queer community as well. Again, I don't think Jonathan is as big of a villain as the show sort of makes him out to be, just because he doesn't initially feel physical attraction to certain people. He tells Basit that he really does like Basit as a person, that they connect a lot on a lot of deep levels, but Jonathan just doesn't feel it romantically or sexually. But also with Jonathan, it becomes clear that he doesn't really understand Basit's identity, and even if unintentionally, who knows, he invalidates Basit's identity at times. There is a scene where Jonathan misgenders Basit, but once Basit corrects him, he uses the correct pronouns for Basit and apologizes in that moment, says that he, before coming to this house, was truly not familiar with people having different pronouns. It's really not Jonathan or Basit I take issue with. I more so take issue with the putting Basit in this role where Basit was supposed to teach Jonathan about accepting other forms of queerness. And we never really see what Basit sees in Jonathan or how Jonathan's relationship benefits Basit. It's all very singular. And I think that's what's very strange about their relationship, to me anyways. And I fully think that that's an issue with the edit of the show and the direction the producers went in more than these two people. I'm sure there are things that they talked about that we just didn't see. Jonathan says that he's from a small town in the South, and seeing someone like Basit, it's very new to him, so he doesn't really know all the right things to say. And as much as Basit is trying to explore this relationship with Jonathan, even though Jonathan seems hesitant, Jonathan is doing that exact same thing with Justin. Even though Max picked Justin for the last matchup ceremony, Max seems to revert back to some old habits and is like, whoa, Justin, I like you, but like, let's pretend I don't like you.
What do you mean play game thing? Like, what's your play game thing? Like,
Act like I don't want him, but you know I do.
you know, you put me as a number 1.
But did I say that you were number 1?
We're just bros massaging each other's lats. And Justin is like, so are we going to explore this connection or not? And Max is like, no. Even though Max doesn't, I think, handle this in a great way, I think it's a common struggle, especially for the bi men in this house, to still have reservations around their sexuality. Even Justin himself says that he didn't really have a coming out story because his way of coming out was still repressing a lot of his attraction to men. Both internal and external biphobia is a real thing. And even in a house surrounded by people like them, it still affects how they interact. Max pretty much instantly regrets his decision to cut off Justin, and he gets upset the next day when Justin picks Jonathan and Jasmine to go on the date after that week's challenge. The other throuple picked for the date is Remy, Brandon, and Paige. Despite Justin picking Jonathan for a date, they have just a painful to watch interaction where Justin physically cringes at Jonathan's kiss. After playing Truth or Dare, where Jenna shows just an incredible feat of athleticism, the house picks Remy and Brandon for the truth booth, basically just because they sat together at the last matchup ceremony. They're a no match, and basically nobody moves. No one is upset, no one cares, we move on. Now that Justin is back from the date, Max goes, hey, listen, I'm sorry I friend-zoned you. I was dealing with my own issues and I shouldn't have cut off our relationship. To which Justin says, well, I've kind of explored other connections because you cut us off. And I think I'm actually just going to keep doing that. All right, matchup ceremony time. Kai picks Jenna. Basit picks Jonathan, which Jonathan does not look thrilled about. He still wants to sit with Justin even after what happened today. Basit says the real issue is Jonathan is from Florida. And if Jonathan can get out of that mindset, Basit believes that they really can have a real connection. Justin picks Jasmine, Amber picks Noor, Kylie picks Carrie, Brandon picks Aisha, Remy picks Danny, and Max and Paige are the leftovers, which is a wild, repressed combination. This time, they get 2 beams. Again. To which Jenna is like, oh, me and Kai are not a match then. Oh, we're so cooked. We're doomed.
Of course, I ignored all the red flags because I was in the chase, and now I am certain that Kai and I are not a match.
When they get back to the house, Jenna calmly explains to Kai, listen, obviously we like each other, but clearly we're not good for each other. I mean, for one, I'm monogamous, you're not. That seems like a pretty fundamental difference. Also, we're literally on a game show. We have to win, and there's no way you would be my perfect match. Jenna doesn't want to be one of those annoying couples who refuse to separate, which is a very common thing on Are You the One? Kai becomes very, very upset, like starts screaming. And he's like, you're literally using facts and logic to get me out of your life.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Seriously?
We're playing a game,
Exactly! You're reasoning me out because of a game. You reasoned me out of your life.
You know what? That was messy. And so Jenna is going to make out with Remy as a little treat. Who, reminder, Remy also hooked up with Kai on night 1. Vibes may be down right now, but Justin's magician vest is really doing something for Max. And trust me, if you're bisexual, you're going to have a little vest. And they just make out in the closet, only for Jonathan to walk in.
Literally crazy.
I know why people punching walls, because like right now,
Right.
The next day for the challenge, the house voted for the 2 most desirable people there, Amber and Jenna. After that yoga pose Jenna showed off, I think it is well deserved. The rest of the house has to pick up words and make a pickup line. Then Amber and Noor pick their favorites without knowing who wrote what. Carrie has the ultimate strategy.
I see lick and I'm like, great. I love telling people I'm gonna lick them.
Okay, I'm picking this one because it has my 2 favorite words, which is lick and crazy.
They know each other so well. And the other line she picks is, you're looking hella fine, feel my money-making butt. Sylvia Plath is shaking. That was written by Paige. Now, for some reason, Noor does not care that Carrie is going on this date with Amber, but Paige? Noor is not having it.
Just don't try it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm a kiss your girl.
That's all I'm saying. I dare you.
What you gonna do?
You don't see what I'm gonna do. Shut up. You're mad whack. Nobody in this house likes you.
It's a big yikes. And it doesn't even stop there.
I'm Paige. I'm tall and a giraffe. I'm here if I make favorite match.
Shut the up. Nobody wants you, bitch. You ain't got a match. Tall ass, stupid ass bitch.
Before Amber leaves to go on the date, Noor is just begging Amber, wifey, don't you dare kiss Paige on your date.
She's gonna try to pull a move on you. Like, that's not cool. That's so shady of her.
Amber stays true to her promise, even though Paige is exactly Amber's type.
Gonna lie, I'm like, wow, she's like a sexy version of like Harry Potter.
Kill me. Jenna, however, guess who she picks to go on her date unknowingly?
Do you like cake? Because I do. Because I thought that was hella funny and I love cake. Nice.
Remy and Kai.
This is gonna be the most unbelievably awkward date of my life.
Honestly, this amount of overlap is true queer representation. When I tell you Kai and Jenna on their date start shouting at each other, only for rain to dramatically pour down as they start making out.
Mad about the fact that I feel something.
You make me feel bad. You make me feel bad all the time.
Because I feel something for you.
Me too. I'm
crazy about you. Ay.
Where is their Emmy? You just know the producers were kicking and screaming when they got that shot. Back at the house, it's queer prom night. The house is gender bending. Men in dresses, women in bow ties. Danny in fedora, as he should. Aisha is having a great time inventing the movie Challengers with Justin and Max. And it's also time to say hi to Dion Slay and Beyond Good. To Jonathan's credit, not only does Jonathan really speak highly of Basit's self-expression that night, Jonathan is truly the only guy out there who even tried to serve a little bit of glamour that night. And Basit and Jonathan have a little smooch. The next day, Brandon is like, Jonathan, you know what? You're really getting these pronouns on point. Even someone from Florida can learn what those are.
They help me grow.
The way you're using those pronouns today, I was like, dang, you got that on point now.
Yeah.
You been practicing?
No, I really did want to learn.
But this is Are You the One? No party can be too wholesome. And that's where Nor's drag king persona, Noriega, comes out.
I appreciate if everybody calls me Noriega. You know, he's very smooth with the ladies.
Right. So Noriega, despite begging Amber to stay loyal, makes out with Kylie in front of everyone else.
Noriega has a mind of his own. And he does what he feels in the moment.
The date group gets back. Kai and Jenna are on the floor.
How was the date? I was like, oh no.
Nor is screaming for her wifey. Now don't be mad at wifey.
The second after, I'm like, where's wifey? I need wifey right now. Amber!
If it isn't the consequences of her own bow tie. The next day it's truth booth time, and even though everyone is pretty sure Kai and Jenna are a no match, they send them into the truth booth because Kai and Jenna were, one, the only ones who sat together, and also it's kind of fun to send people you're very sure aren't a match into the truth booth out of spite. By the way, if you thought Nor was done, she is not done. Embarrassing herself and Paige.
Feel like you could be a perfect match with Amber?
I feel like we definitely could, yeah.
Ew.
What do you like most about her?
She's
annoying. I'm sorry.
I love the fact that she genuinely is a positive light in this house.
So what do you think about this?
She's ostrich.
Okay, that's just rude though, babe.
Beyond it being mean, you should never voice your animosity towards a fellow bisexual. Speaking from experience, they will hire a witch off Etsy to cast a return to sender spell. And for Nor, that would not be pretty.
So, Nor, you actually kissed someone in the house?
Yeah.
So you feel hypocritical?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna own up to that. I'm a hypocritical ass bitch. Yeah.
Would you believe that Kai and Jenna are not a match? Kai takes this especially hard and says he's confused because isn't this game about following your heart? That's what he was doing.
I feel like I don't know myself or anything anymore. Because if this game is actually built off of like love and connection, then what was this?
He's not wrong. This game is deeply flawed, but alas, they will have to go their separate ways. Well, I mean, after they get out of the boom boom room, because they're back there. All right, matchup time. Jonathan picks Brandon. This is one of those moments where the speed of the show really confuses the plot because there are so many matchup choices that make no sense to us as a viewer just because we barely see these people. All we've seen of Brandon is him saying Jonathan learned pronouns.
You been practicing?
Aisha, who was in the sandwich last night, picks Max. Paige picks Amber, to which Amber is like, you know what? Yes. Free me from this Nor curse. Kai picks Danny, Jenna picks Justin, Remy picks Basit, Kylie picks Carrie, and Jasmine and Nor are left over. You're not gonna believe this, but they got 2 beams. Again, they're consistent, that's for sure. Since Kylie and Carrie have sat together at every ceremony so far, the house has decided that they are one of the beams, one of the perfect matches. And this reveals yet another flaw in Are You the One as a game. In the game, if you find a couple who you think is a perfect match, you're supposed to send them into the truth booth, and then they go off to the honeymoon suite, never to be seen again, as if they were a character on the White Lotus. But the thing is, if Kylie and Carrie were a confirmed perfect match, the house would then have to guess correctly one other perfect match to avoid a blackout. So actually, the more perfect matches you confirm, the higher the chance is that you will lose money and guess the remaining couples incorrectly. Plus, why would you want to go to the honeymoon suite when you can just hang out in a gay party house? Nora goes to Amber and she's like, Amber, please, I'll do anything. I'll even watch those Fantastic Beast movies that nobody likes. Amber is like, well, I deserve way better than you. You know, you kissed other women when you made me feel guilty for just going on a date. You bullied Paige like a lot. But also, strategy-wise, maybe you're my match, so I guess I'll stay. Sparks are flying. Even though Max was the one to originally cut things off with Justin, now it's Max who is super tunnel vision and won't let go of this relationship with Justin. But Justin, true to his love of holes, says, listen, Max, you have tunnel vision. Strategy-wise, pure strategy. I think it is in our best interest if I make out with every bisexual I can find. Okay? So Justin finds Aisha, and these two are going at it. Nora sees this, and she goes full Paul Revere and screams to the entire house,
Max! Your boyfriend is somebody else!
Justin is coming. To which Max angrily says, you look like a hoe, bro. A phrase you never want to hear. Jenna has decided that with her addictive personality and also knowing that her and Kai aren't a match, her match is probably someone really stable who she can lean on for support, like Danny. They have so much in common. Jenna loves science.
99.999% of all matter in the universe is composed of hydrogen and helium.
That's insane.
But honestly, Jenna might be onto something about them being a match because at the next challenge, Jenna is able to decipher Danny's just Da Vinci code of emojis. No, seriously, guess what this means?
You were sleeping and now you're awake. Yeah? So you're a spring awakening.
Justin and Max, I love this. They use the emoji challenge as an opportunity to argue with each other.
Last time you cried is because you were dating somebody who was trash?
That is correct.
Oh.
Wow, who are you talking about?
Justin, back there.
Justin, what is that?
It's people leaving and me actually caring. Very important people.
And Justin reveals that part of why he's so non-committal in this house is some of his abandonment issues from childhood. At 14 years old, Justin's mom picked her boyfriend over him, and in doing so kicked Justin out of the house. And he tells Max that he feels like he was using the game as an excuse to push him away. So the two kiss and make up, once again witnessed by Paul Revere.
Justin and Max look like a married couple.
No.
The emoji challenge winners are Carrie and Kai, Jenna and Danny. So once again, Kai and Jenna are on another date with each other, but we didn't really talk about that. Carrie isn't really interested in Kai because she, as a person, values loyalty and needs someone who isn't actively hooking up with their exes like every night. Crazy, am I right? Meanwhile, Jenna says that even though Danny is great, she feels like they're just a friend vibe. And poor Danny at this point has been rejected by both Jenna and Kai because he's just a sweet little nerd. Well, Jenna and Kai are back to hooking up in the boom boom room. Someone stop them or join them.
Jenna and Kai aren't a match, but hey, if we can't separate them, we're gonna get right in between them.
I do think this kind of attitude could really resolve just about any world conflict. Aisha, Jasmine, and Carrie's supposed match Kylie jump in for some good, clean fun. Terrence walks in to announce who's going to the truth booth, and he's like, hey, everybody, heard y'all had some sinful fun last night. Kylie, would you like to share with the class? To which Carrie's like, excuse me?
Making out, like some people got their like, no, like dead ass.
Listen, it was just a little ring of floppy toppy. Terrence is just standing there like, anyways, so Danny and Jenna are just gonna go into the truth booth now. Jenna is like, I'm gonna be real sad if Danny's my perfect match because I am just, can't stress this enough, not attracted to him, like at all.
If we're a match, like, it would be great, but it would also kind of be sad because if I don't feel that, then I don't feel that.
To which Danny says, well, I could see us being good together. Thank God that they're not a match. Kai is cheesing, Danny is in tears, and Basit is comforting Danny. It's an emotional night. At this next matchup ceremony, we get some crazy combinations. Danny picks Basit for lifting his spirits the other night. Kylie picks Jonathan, because why not, I guess. Remy picks Aisha, Again, have we seen any of these people even interact? No, we have not. This show is far too short. Carrie picks Kai, even though she said she didn't think Kai was her match, but you know, this could teach Kylie a lesson about messing with her, I guess. Brandon picks Jasmine, Justin picks Max, Amber picks Noor, and Jenna and Paige are left over. Guys, they only got one moonbeam ice cream taking off your blue jeans that night. They're regressing. Of the pairings they've tried, Amber and Noor, Carrie and Kylie, and Justin and Max have sat together the most. So the house decides that Carrie and Kylie or Amber and Noor need to win the challenge tomorrow and get into the truth booth. To which Max and Justin are like, what are we? A roach? We were the only ones who sat together week to week to week, and we got one beam last week.
But what about what we think? I'm not letting this house break Justin and I up because they don't think it's a match.
Kylie and Carrie decide to put this little five-some whoopsie behind them, and Max and Justin and Kylie and Carrie both get a date that week. For some reason, Remy is deeply invested in Max and Justin's relationship and says that he is the only one in this entire house who believes in them.
This is new for Max and this is new for Justin. And I just see them in a place where it's like every time they do something, they get better at communicating. They get better at this, they get better at that.
Again, have we seen these people interact? No. Meanwhile, Kai has an ascot. No one wearing an ascot has good intentions. He's wrestling Jasmine because they're both from small towns and also Jasmine is a baddie, which fair. Kai and Jasmine hop into the shower together, and I guess the bathroom doors don't lock in this house because Paige just walks straight in. Paige turns around and immediately Jenna is also there, like, what? I'm just going to brush my teeth. Paige grabs Jenna by the shoulders and is like, Jenna, for your own well-being, I cannot let you go into that bathroom. I am going to escort you to another bathroom where we can cry and floss together, okay? Aisha and Brandon finally get one scene of screen time that isn't just them being absolute horn dogs. Aisha says that little five-some she had last week was so not her. Aisha talks about how she tends to go off physical attraction first and then searches for romantic feelings later. And Brandon points out, oh, so like, how you're in the middle of Max and Justin, or how you're involved in five-sums, right? The house, of course, votes Kylie and Carrie into the truth booth because they're team femme all the way, I guess. Plus, the one time Kylie and Carrie didn't sit together, the house lost a beam. Y'all, they're not a match. And honestly, considering how much time these two have spent together in the house, neither of them seem that torn up about it. Just kind of shocked that they were wrong more than anything.
It's great. All these sure matches, strong couples, blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody know except for Max and I.
Remy is screaming from the rooftops at this. I told y'all, femmes out, bros in. Next matchup ceremony. Kylie picks Jenna, Noor picks Amber, and Terrence says, Amber, what were your problems in relationships again? Giving someone too many chances? And how many chances have you had to give Noor?
All the matchmakers, you think they thought you should be with another person that you got to give more chances to?
Not really, but let's see.
All right, well, scan your hands on this iPad, I guess. And this is where it all goes wrong. Remember how Jonathan and Justin had that one really terrible kiss, then never spoke again? Well, Jonathan picks Justin. Everyone is mad. Max is mad. Justin is mad. Basit is mad.
I think Jonathan's a little bit delusional. If he wants to sit next to my man, go ahead. The beams will set the truth free.
But no one is more upset than Remy.
I just think that's also just thinking with your private parts.
No, it's not.
You had one date. How is this following your heart? Justin has been with Max the entire time. They're following their hearts. You are quite literally following your private parts.
Seriously, does Remy have money tied into this Max-Justin relationship? Like, why is he being so vocal? But honestly, Remy's right to be upset because Jonathan picking Justin kind of messes up everybody else's choices. Because then it's a domino effect. Max picks Brandon, even though Brandon and Aisha think that they're a match. Remy picks Basit, Harry picks Danny, Paige picks Jasmine, and then Kai and Aisha. Just the most random couples you've ever seen. Y'all, guess how many beams they got?
What? What?
Wow.
Yep. 0. They instantly lose a collective $250,000 from the prize pool. But the good news is because Amber and Noor sat together and they got no beams, Amber is free to let her Harry Potter freak flag fly. Say that 10 times fast. Far away from Noor.
How is she not my match? Like, I don't get it. This is so hard.
And of course, Justin, Max, and Remy are even more convinced that Justin and Max were the couple prophesized thousands of years ago who would unite the gays in $750,000 split amongst 20 people.
The blackout is Jonathan's fault. Jonathan took Justin away from Max, who is in obvious beam.
At the beginning of the next episode, Terrence announces that for the first time ever, they're just gonna tell the audience who one of the perfect matches is without telling the contestants. And I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that Are You the One math blog had already confirmed that Jonathan and Basit were a match a couple episodes ago. But Jonathan, as you can imagine, is in big trouble with the house.
Maybe the heat from the beanie in Hawaii is cooking your brain. You can't think right.
Justin and Max are just giggling to themselves, but Remy is going off.
It's not always
up Max and Justin.
Okay, maybe he did, but that doesn't mean the whole blackout is his fault.
It is his fault.
It's not just Jonathan's fault, but you know what? Maybe it is. Let's all yell at Jonathan a little more. Basit says, all right, so clearly I'm the second choice, and now you have no choice but to acknowledge that we could be a match, but I'm not gonna chase you. You have to chase me now, which is fair. Kai is having a night. First, he walks over to Nor and is like, hey babe, so sad you and Amber aren't a match. If you ever need comfort, saved from someone in a Fred from Scooby-Doo cosplay, you know who to call.
I don't know why I have so much empathy for you. I'm just like,
We all deserve that.
this really sucks and it really hurts. And if you would like to commiserate, we can.
Nor and Kai as a couple would truly be a dark triage pairing, but let's not talk about that. Then Kai runs outside to remind Jenna that Kai is still obsessed with Jenna.
I can't wait to get out of here so that I can actually be with you.
Jasmine so likes you so much.
Your aunt?
And even though Jenna admits it's not healthy, they're making out again. But if you thought Remy was just gonna yell at Jonathan that night, you'd be wrong.
Not the worst thing that happened here.
Yeah, so what's going on? It's like a serious conversation for what? This is not even supposed to be happening.
Stop.
I'm sorry, I have to insert myself when I see.
Remy's right, to be clear. Cuff those sleeves, wipe those tears, go find yourself a baddie bisexual Jenna who will treat you right. Oh, and also Kai is making out with Jasmine. And wrestling Danny in his underwear. I'm telling you, wrestling is Kai's signature move. Just let him drop kick you a little bit and you'll get right to his heart. And even though Danny likes Kai, he can also very much clock that Kai likes to be liked by everybody.
He knows how to make me feel good, but I do think that it's not unique because I think that Kai really wants to and works aggressively to have that sort of relationship with everyone.
The next day, Brandon and Nor win a date. Brandon picks Basit and Aisha, and Nor picks Jenna and Kylie. Even though we really only got one scene of Brandon and Aisha, everyone by this point seems pretty convinced that they're a match. Basit is like, all right kids, y'all enjoy your date. I'm gonna do some donuts on the ATV back there. Back at the house though, Jenna and Amber are connecting. Because you know what tattoo Jenna has?
I asked for the person to be as obsessed with Harry Potter as I am.
Girl, I got a Harry Potter tattoo.
I know!
We will not escape the gaze for Gryffindor this season. But also, as Amber and Jenna have pointed out, they're some of the hottest girlies here. Who wouldn't want to see two hot femmes together? I will give credit though, there is a really cute scene where Jonathan brings Basit a homemade flower crown and bouquet and apologizes for not valuing Basit. This scene is framed as super romantic, but I don't know, something about this couple still seems kind of PR to me. Like Jonathan is saying all the right things, and it is really good that he came around and is more respectful around non-binary people as that they exist and around pronouns, except he also makes this comment about Basit's appearance.
I was distracted by someone else in the house and also by your costume.
Which like is nice, sure, maybe I'm being cynical, but I don't think Basit's gender expression is a costume. And also Basit says, well, Jonathan, you know, if we hadn't gotten a blackout last week, I'm pretty sure you would still be exploring things with Justin. And Jonathan is like, yeah. Anyways, they're a confirmed perfect match. This couple gets so much screen time this season, again, because Basit is very much the main character of this season. And don't get me wrong, they do go on to have some sweet moments. They genuinely seem to have fun together. But I don't know, it makes me kind of sad that the matchmakers saw Basit, who was so confident and open, and also one of the most striking people you've just ever seen, and paired them with someone who was really close-minded to Basit's identity. Yes, Jonathan did change his tune and become more accepting of non-binary people, but like, what if he hadn't, you know? This pairing was so evidently set up for either a cheesy romance or for the worst drama you could see. All we saw of Jonathan on the show was him appearing really vain and close-minded. Then suddenly he's head over heels for Basit in the edit. I'm sure Jonathan had more depth to him that the show just didn't include. Again, these episodes are like 40 minutes and there's 16 people they need to cover. We don't see a lot. But what do these two actually like about each other? Yes, Basit is opening Jonathan's mind, but do they have shared interest? Life goals? We don't see any of that. It's also funny the show reveals Jonathan and Basit are a perfect match to the audience because you would think that would provide some dramatic irony, like maybe they would doubt their relationship or they would insist that they weren't a match. But no, I think Jonathan and Basit also were pretty sure at this point that they were a match, so they never even get sent into the truth booth. They just stick with each other the rest of the show. Did we really need this confirmation? Like we could already tell. Speaking of the truth booth, Brandon and Aisha are a perfect match. Brandon and Aisha, we barely knew you. Y'all seem too cool for this house, quite honestly. Now we will only see you when you show up to judge other contestants and their terrible, terrible guesses at each matchup ceremony. At the next matchup ceremony, Jenna picks Amber, Jonathan picks Basit, Jasmine picks Kylie because she is over Kai, putting her second and third. Danny picks Kai, Paige picks Carrie, Max and Justin pair up, and Noor and Remy are left over. Remember, now they need to get 2 beams, Brandon and Aisha and someone else. That night, they don't just get 2 beams. They get 3 whole beams. The progress we want to see in the queer movement is finally happening. Gather around, you sexually fluids. Let's try and figure this out. And pay attention, this is important. Danny has crunched the numbers and his calculations have revealed that the queers are hopeless. So we gotta figure this out. Danny has the entire house recreate the first matchup ceremony. Everyone who has since been confirmed to be a no match since that ceremony sits down. That leaves Jonathan and Basit, who we as the audience know are a match, Jenna and Jasmine, Danny and Kai, and Justin and Max. And if Justin and Max are not a perfect match, Max may just blow this house up. That means that these 4 couples each have a 25% chance of being a match. So strategy-wise, Jenna should be getting to know Jasmine. But Amber and Jenna, the women-loving women that they are, they just want to tell each other that they're pretty all day. Which is correct. Jasmine, even though she said that she was done with Kai, like a siren, she calls him back to her as Kai cuddles with Noor.
It's okay though, I'll take you home, baby.
Serious?
Literally anytime Kai interacts with these 2 women, all I hear is that one Sexy Red song. Kai sits these 2 down and is like, listen, I will hook up with both of you. And maybe I'll do it in front of the other person. Everyone here is gonna get a little taste of the rainbow, but we've all just gotta be cool with that, okay?
We're gonna have to figure it out and see what makes the most sense.
Noor does not like that. This does seem like another scenario where Kai's polyamory and Noor's jealousy just are a fundamental mismatch and they should just move on from each other. But rather than process that, Kai and Noor just start downing shots. But then Kai sneaks off with Jasmine while Noor is making Kai a sandwich, only to be caught by Noor sandwich-handed.
You go into the boom boom room with somebody else while I'm making a sandwich?
When you're in the middle of the boom boom room and my braless wife Noor brings me a sandwich not asked for. This episode, we get some Remy and Paige drama, which feels really out of nowhere because again, we haven't seen these 2 interact. But reminder, Paige is 21 and just came out. Meanwhile, Remy is 27 and he self-identifies as the slut of the house.
Everything that my exes were, which is obviously why I'm attracted to you. But the matchmakers would not give me somebody who screwed me over multiple times.
I don't know this for sure, but I kind of get the sense that Paige was hoping to find someone non-binary or a woman to connect with on the show because the show was her coming out. But she has some unexpected feelings for Remy, which brings up some of her past baggage with men she's dated in the past. But again, we don't really see how these 2 have interacted, except just Remy begging Paige to give him a chance, and Paige seeming very disinterested until one day she just isn't. Also, we get one single confessional from Carrie saying that she sees qualities that she likes in Remy. What's not shown, what I found out after, is that Remy and Carrie actually were hooking up at this point. And actually, Remy and Paige had also hooked up before this, which actually does come back up in the next matchup ceremony, even though the audience never got told all this information. Just another terrible edit of the show that y'all should know about. For the next challenge, the Are You the One producers just really don't want the gays to win this money, so they limit who can be picked on the date. Basit takes Kai and Noor because Basit is an enabler of this cursed pairing.
I don't want to say that I'm a witch that orchestrated this for a purpose, but I'm a witch that orchestrated this for a purpose.
And Jenna takes Jasmine and Amber. One part strategy, one part following her heart. Of course, because Jenna and Jasmine were one of the 4 couples, they automatically are sent into the truth booth. And no match. Jasmine says, okay, well, I guess that means the strategy's stupid and I don't have to pay attention to it anymore. I'm just gonna go hook up with Kai. Even though actually Jenna and Jasmine being confirmed a no match actually means that Danny and Kai are 50% likely to be a match because we know Jasmine and Jenna aren't and we know Jonathan and Basit are. But who has time for that math when it's under the sea party time? Everyone is wearing clothes in theory, but mostly they're just wearing glitter and metallic blue liquid lipstick because this was filmed in 2018. Since Aisha has left the building, Amber has put herself into the Max Justin sandwich, and she's having a little makeout session with Justin. Max is getting progressively more jealous and possessive across the episodes, and not an unfounded feeling.
Sorry, Max, I may have to steal your merman.
That's not cool.
Jasmine has said many times to Max that just physical attraction, like making out with Aisha or making out with Amber, doesn't count. Noor has gotten very, very drunk and storms up to an also very drunk Kai. Kai is like, Noor, I'm not gonna have a drunk fight with you. But it's not a drunk fight. Why would you even think that?
He's being messy as and he's not being honest with everybody because he has an opinion towards me and he has an opinion towards Jasmine.
Because Noor can't get Kai's attention, Noor goes to the next most convenient target, who is Jasmine.
I do have to talk to you about something. What do you need? Wait, are you mimicking me or are you saying you really have to talk to me about something?
No, I'm mimicking you.
Even though Jasmine is truly in the exact same uncomfortable situation as Noor, has really done nothing wrong to Noor at all. Noor starts raising her voice. Jasmine shouts back and she's like, your issue is with Kai. Talk to Kai. But Paige in the background is shimmying and telling Jasmine to just go ahead and punch Noor. Why not? Which really amps up Noor, and she lunges at Jasmine before they're both separated by show security.
Jasmine, hit that hoe.
What's good, Paige? What's good, Paige? What's good, Paige? I'm not even trying to fight, bitch.
Noor is heated. She's popping balloons. She is not someone to be messed with.
Jasmine, bitch, I swear to God.
Why is this about Jasmine?
And during all that, Kai is just outside like, wait, why are they fighting? Plus Danny is like, I feel like everyone's chasing the wrong person, and where's my chase? Where's my messy reality TV situationship?
Everyone is chasing someone who's chasing someone else. And I know that I can't force someone to turn around and chase me, but it still grinds me down sometimes.
This under the sea party is wasted on these people. They should be forming a conga line right now. Noor does eventually find Kai and has some choice words for him too, don't worry. To which Kai is very offended because he's been open with Noor that he was pursuing both of them, which is true. In any context, Noor is doing too much. That's not in dispute. But to slightly defend Noor, Kai isn't innocent in this either. Because the night before, Kai told Noor that he liked Noor more than Jasmine. Then at the party, he denies ever having said that.
With Jasmine, I'm kind of realizing that I feel like that just feels safe. But like in the real world, like I would pick you over her.
You said that I'm your number one.
I never said
You said that!
Then he runs off to tell Jenna that he's in love with her.
I'm madly in love with you.
I can't do this anymore.
Please free Jenna. She's trying her best to move on from this man, but he's not making it easy. And then he's making out with Jasmine again. It's one thing to be open. It's another to just play whack-a-mole with everyone else's feelings. Jenna walks up to Danny and is like, listen, Danny, I have some devastating news for you. I do unfortunately think that you are Kai's match because you are truly the only one here who is normal and patient enough to deal with his mess.
I think you're Kai's match. Okay, Danny, I'm so sorry.
It's like being the shy kid in elementary school who always got sat next to the problem kids because the teacher thinks you'll be a good influence. As someone who was that kid, not exactly an ideal romantic relationship dynamic. The house does try and have an actual conversation with Kai, who's just like, guys, I get it. I'm a terrible person. I'm changing. Now leave me alone.
Just want you to be honest, that's all.
And I am.
Do you want to have a conversation with me or do you want to on me?
Is it all their fault?
Again, guys.
You're feeling a lot of defensiveness right now.
Well, because I feel like no one's hearing.
Can I get the full sentence out,
Once
please?
again.
Not a whole lot of progress being made there. Next ceremony. Carrie picks Remy because they hooked up off screen, but we don't know that as the audience, so 0 cents. Kai picks Jasmine, even though he told Jenna that he loved her. Jasmine, why do you still want to talk to this man?
What do you think about that?
Hey, Terrence, we all in this house and we all doing what we do.
Okay.
Free Jasmine. But Noor does at least give Jasmine what is, I'm sure, a production mandated apology if Noor wanted to stay on the show.
I want to apologize to her directly. I regret that.
Me too.
Justin and Max, Jonathan and Basit, Noor and Kylie, Danny and Amber, and Paige and Jenna are left over. Last time, they got 3 beams, and it was amazing. This time, they get 3 beams, and they're pissed. The one thing I do like about the confirmed perfect matches is that their sole role on the show now is to just sit and judge everyone like, what the are you guys doing?
Hey, yo, what the we gonna lose? 3 again.
We figured our stuff out. How come you guys aren't doing it? We're literally just getting room service pina coladas right now. Now that Danny and Kai seem pretty sure that they're a match, they're trying to have an ounce of chemistry.
Ever trying, ever failing, no matter, fail again.
I am listening.
Danny says, listen, everyone in this house is a mess. I'm what everyone here needs, but nobody wants. To which Kai says, well, that's not true. I need someone patient like you. They really couldn't find Danny a match who got his Samuel Beckett references. But Kai and Danny do go off to the Boom Boom room. So, something's happening there. Remy and Paige, Amber and Max, and Danny and Noor win a date. I would love to know what Danny and Noor talked about on that date. We don't see any of it. Amber, because she's still in this Justin Max sandwich, is like, hey, Max, don't you worry that Justin is hooking up with other people right now as we speak?
I think it's pretty apparent that the rest of the house just wants to them.
I mean, he is pretty cute.
No, that seems really good, for sure. Remy and Paige are the only couple on this date with even an ounce of chemistry, and they get a little golden shower from God.
It's a golden shower. This is literally the coolest thing.
If that's what you want to call it, sure. So, of course, they get sent into the truth booth. Even the host is like, wow, you two seem to have been really vulnerable with each other and built a relationship. If you were a perfect match, that could be amazing. Too bad they're not, because once again, mutual romantic feelings, telltale sign that the couple is not a perfect match on the show. To which Carrie is like, all right, listen up, gays. We cannot set back the queer movement by losing this game.
Wait, exactly. I feel you, mama, I feel you.
We're representing a whole community of people, and I want to win for everyone like us. And I don't want the queer season to be a season that loses.
We need to lock in and figure out these matches. The house finally catches up to Are You the One match and realizes that Basit and Jonathan are a for sure match, which would have felt way more impactful if we as the audience didn't already hear that like an episode ago, 2 episodes ago. Then they work out that either Danny and Kai are a match or Max and Justin are a match, but not both. If Danny and Kai are a match, that means Jenna and Paige are a match, and Noor and Jasmine.
Out of all the bitches in this house, this bitch.
Did you see the party?
Yes, the 2 who got into a physical fight last week, they're a perfect match. But don't worry, they've made up now and have discovered that they're both horse girls.
We had horses.
I always wanted a barn or a ranch.
We had a barn. We did.
That's perfect match material right there. But if Max and Justin are a match, that basically means that all of the other guesses that they've made so far are wrong. Max and Justin have an 11% chance of being a perfect match. It's pretty dire for them.
They're just going through possibilities.
I get that.
Realistically, does that matter? The show is almost over. Justin and Max can just keep dating each other, and basically the last 2 episodes would come down to math and strategizing who their matches are. But I'm sure the producers are in their ear, letting them know that actually, if they're not a perfect match, their union is forbidden by God, and Max will never feel a lick of joy ever again. That's certainly how Max is taking all of this strategizing.
That is gonna rip my heart out. That is gonna rip my heart out.
So appropriately, he dons a fuck-ass hat and streetwear funeral attire to the next matchup ceremony, where the house plans to confirm if Max and Justin are a perfect match. Basically, the plan is to intentionally split Danny and Kai up at the ceremony, but keep Max and Justin together. If they get 4 beams, Justin and Max are a match. But if they only get 3, Danny and Kai are a match, which also means Jenna and Paige and Jasmine and Nora are a match.
I am scared. I am nervous. I feel pressure. I am confident.
The pairings that night are Jasmine and Nora, Jonathan and Basit, and then Brandon and Aisha. So those are the 3 perfect matches. Then there's Max and Justin, Kylie and Danny, Kai and Remy, Amber and Paige, and Jenna and Carrie. Max this whole time is truly disassociating.
Serve it.
3 beams!
And Danny is breaking down because he's terrified that Kai is his match. I mean, he's going to be so sad for Max and Justin if they're no match. Folks, they got 3 beams. Max and Justin are no more.
I'm devastated. I hope everybody's happy with their answers because I know I'm not. It costed 1 heart. It costed mine.
I guess we should have known that their pairing was doomed. Their ship name is Jax. Even though this actually confirms 5 out of 8 couples, Max could give a, He's like, hope you're happy. My heart is shattered. Listen, your first queer relationship is almost always doomed to end in a devastating fashion, but this level of public display is a nightmare scenario, I think, for anybody. Justin, however, is like, well, anyways, I'm gonna hook up with Carrie and Amber now, for strategy. And Max is like, oh, you would do that. Me, I will literally not try to get to know anyone here because this is the worst. Do you see the hat I'm wearing? Does this hat say open to romantic connections? I don't think so. Now that Justin is single, Carrie is very set on Justin being her match. Even though Amber also hooked up with Justin, for some reason Max cannot stand Carrie specifically, also wanting to pursue Justin.
Carrie is with my first boyfriend ever. Who's someone who's like, I have to see that in front of my face.
It's a blonde on blonde crime. Justin and Carrie and Amber and Max get sent on a date, and because Amber and Max went on a date before, the group sends them into the truth booth. Max is like, honestly, I hope Amber's my match because if I stay here, I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall.
I hope that we're a perfect match and we can go to the honeymoon suite and get out of this house and I don't have to be around Justin. So, I hope you're my match.
And Amber is like, it wouldn't be great to be sent off to a hotel alone with this very distraught man. They're not a match, and Max is over it. I mean, what do you want from this man? Can't you see he's had enough? But the next morning, he has a revelation. He hasn't spoken to Carrie this whole time they've been in the house because, she's an evil witch or whatever. But then Max walks up to her and is like, listen, you may think you know Justin. I know Justin. You are not his match. He has abandonment issues and can't commit. And Carrie is like, maybe. I mean, loyalty is my number one thing. That is what I've been saying this whole time. Max goes full That's So Raven.
But you can trust me. You're loyal to me, I'm a loyalist.
Carrie, it's you.
Yeah.
Loyalty? Blonde? Carrie, it's you. You're my match. Carrie only seems a little scared of that.
Yeah.
Max starts running around from person to person declaring, guys, listen, I've unlocked the code to this game. Ask people questions. I couldn't stand Carrie, but guess what? She's my match. It's that easy.
I didn't like Carrie at all.
And then we talked.
It hit me like a pound of bricks. I'm telling you, Danny, it's Carrie. Yeah, I hear you.
My perfect match is Carrie. It is.
But walking around with this crazy ass, I see dead people kind of look.
Some people, though, think it's real convenient that Max thinks Carrie is his match. Because is this him just trying to put a wedge between Justin and Carrie exploring their options? Personally, I think Max is one of the only people here who is not playing 4D chess the entire time. Also, if Carrie was Max's match, I don't know, that feels kind of shallow to me because Max's whole arc this season was about him finally opening himself up to romantic relationships with men, something he repressed for many years of his life, even though he was out. Maybe during the matchmaking process he said something different, but it feels like this pairing is just the opposite of what Max actually wanted to gain from this experience. And I'm sure for Carrie too. Her match is friendly towards her now because he thinks they're a match, but he doesn't actually seem to like her romantically. He said that he's in love with Justin, but Justin is in love with holes. That's rough, buddy. By the way, now that they know 5 perfect matches, that just leaves 6 stragglers to figure out. Amber, Kylie, Carrie, Remy, Max, and Justin. There's only a few possible combinations left. I bet you forgot that Kylie was on this show. But she put some chocolates on Amber's bed. Romance is in the air. And remember the reason Amber stopped liking Nor was actually because Nor made out with Kylie? This again, so symbolic of the actual queer dating scene. Max is convinced that him and Carrie are a match. Amber and Kylie are convinced that they're also a match. At the matchup ceremony, by the way, I suddenly realized that Kai and Danny kind of have Obama energy.
Tonight, our theme is Take Your Son to Work Day.
In a dark, twisted way. Amber and Kylie sit together, Max and Carrie sit together, and Justin and Remy sit together. 3 things could happen here. Either they get 5 beams and eliminate all 3 of those couples, or they win, they get 8 beams. Or they get 6 beams, which is the worst case scenario because that means they got 1 right and have no idea which one that would be. So of course they get 6 beams, because we need to get 1 more episode of content. The group gets one last chance to send a couple into the truth booth, and they send in Amber and Kylie, which is wrong. I honestly feel bad for Amber and Kylie because every season there's just always a few people who are paired together for really arbitrary reasons. So it feels like Amber and Kylie have both just been guessing at random who their match could be. But Max, once again, is like, listen, I hated Carrie's cuts, but I asked her basic questions. Justin, Remy, Amber, Kylie, y'all figure it out. Amber has to choose between Justin and Remy. Now, remember, Amber has had a flirtation with Justin and Max, but Amber is a dommy mommy. No, Amber's a dommy mommy who wants to wear the pants, to which Remy says, hell yeah.
Like, all of my exes have always worn the pants because I can wear skirts.
Justin, though, he has to be big dog, to which Kylie says, I mean, that's fine, I guess. Oh, and Remy is pretty sure that Kylie isn't his match because she's from Salt Lake City, which is the realest thing he said all season. So since the group has pretty much figured out who they think their matches are, they all get naked. And Justin and Amber go to the boom boom room together. Amber is torn. Her heart is telling her to pick Justin, but the strategy is telling her she has to choose Remy. And remember, this game is all about making connections, following your heart. Amber at this point has explored 5 potential relationships as openly as possible. Surely she at least ends up with someone she likes at the end of it, but no, Remy is her match.
And the best part about Amber and Remy being a perfect match is that Remy hates Harry Potter.
I asked for the person to be as obsessed with Harry Potter as I am.
They won, by the way, in case you were wondering.
We just showed the world that despite the odds, the queer community rises up once again.
So the final perfect matches were Brandon and Aisha, Jonathan and Basit, Jasmine and Nor, Danny and Kai, Carrie and Max, Jenna and Paige, Remy and Amber, and Kylie and Justin. You know, maybe some of these aren't love at first sight type connections, but I'm sure at least some of these couples could give it a try after the show. What's that? None of these couples dated after the show? Actually, Paige and Remy were the only ones to date after the show, before having a dramatic Twitter beef leading to Remy making his Twitter account private, even to this day, 6 years after the fact. Well, this is still Are You the One? Pretty much every season of Are You the One filmed a reunion special a few months later, but this time MTV said no, actually. We want these gays out of here expeditiously. That being said though, there was an unofficial 2-hour live stream reunion on the YouTube show AfterBuzz. AfterBuzz is, I think, affiliated with MTV in some capacity, but because it wasn't actually MTV, the castmates didn't have to get paid for their time to do this. This reunion is very confusing if you watch now, because there are a lot of references to live streams, YouTube videos, tweets made while the show was airing that have long since been deleted. But let me try and break it down based on what I was able to find. First of all, Remy is the ultimate snitch. While the show was airing, he was just using his Twitter to air out everyone else's business. I saw Kai being mean to Danny outside the hotel. Jenna and Kai hooked up again. Carrie and Justin hooked up. Jenna broke up with her boyfriend right before she went on the show. Basit owes me money. Justin had a boyfriend the entire time he was on the show. No one in this cast had secrets when Remy was around.
Oh my god, and the biggest revelation, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, Remy and Paige claimed that Basit would try and DM Remy asking if Remy wanted to hook up, saying that Basit wished that Remy had been their match instead of Jonathan, and Remy and Paige felt like Basit was trying to blow up their relationship or get Remy to cheat on Paige. A mess.
Although Kai and Jenna did apparently make out at the hotel the cast was staying at right after they won, they didn't actually go on to date. And I do feel compelled to show you the pictures of them with their new partners after the show. You could say they have a type. Jonathan and Basit very skillfully dodged the question of their relationship status.
I would say if you want to know if Basit and I are together or a couple or if we're pursuing a relationship outside of the house, keep an eye on us. Because we're definitely going to be giving you some juicy very soon.
I want to steal that as my outro. Stay tuned for the juicy juice. Kylie Skypes in from outside a bar and can't hear anything.
That bed situation with the, I guess, chocolate.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
1 second, let me go back. Y'all.
Barely, it's really loud. It's loud in there, Kylie.
I can hear you.
But she does want everyone to know that she's done with Carrie.
Like, I really do love you, Carrie. I do as a person, but
she's fraudulent. She's fraudulent.
I just think we could just be friends at this point because I'm finding out stuff I didn't know. And I'm not mad.
The biggest scandal after the show was the Max and Carrie of it all. Since Carrie and Danny very much got the let's do math, let's strategize edit, Carrie halfway through the season made an edit about how strategy rules. Love sucks, which Max took to be a direct attack on him because he was the one who was constantly getting mad at anyone who tried to strategize because that invalidated his love for Justin. This then became a lengthy Twitter fight where Max discovered the word fraudulent.
I didn't say any of that. That is fraudulent.
So
right there, it was fraudulent. She made a 48-minute video of fraudulence on my name.
Wait,
Carrie's fraudulent.
So Carrie was trying to like
Carrie
hook up with you and be with you.
She's fraudulent. She's fraudulent.
I just think stuff I didn't know.
Fraudulent.
And I'm not mad.
Carrie then posted a 48-minute YouTube video that has since been deleted where she said that she was heartbroken, that she'd been led on by Max to think that they would be in love forever. That yes, she did hook up with Justin, but Max was the one who got away. She gave him a matching bracelet, and he wore that matching bracelet like it was nothing.
We even talked about having freaking kids together. We even said like how if we both decided we wanted to be with like the same gender and like we didn't want a heterosexual relationship, we could be like each other's surrogates, like we could just have kids together, or like even in a marriage we would be like so successful. And like I'm getting like all these dreams painted in my head and like I'm excited.
Once they get onto the reunion, Max insists that Carrie is a liar. He never implied that he wanted to date Carrie. Her story was fraudulent. She is fraudulent, and he came with the receipts to prove it. A single, very boring text message. But you know what? Carrie is his perfect match at the end of the day because she brought her own binder of printed out text messages screenshots that she's just showing to her shitty webcam. To be honest, these messages seem very platonic to me, not romantic and certainly not malicious. Like I do think Max was right that Carrie was being kind of dramatic. But all you can hear is fraudulent.
Give it up for Mrs. Fraudulent! Mrs. Fraudulent! Mrs. Fraudulent!
Also,
Fraudulent.
wedding situation.
Fraudulent.
Fucking wedding situation.
Fraudulent. You're fraudulent! You have tried. You're a wedge! You're a wedge! You're a wedge! You're fraudulent! You're a fraudulent wedge! That's what it is. That's what it is.
Why? Because that's my friend!
Also, if you're wondering, Max isn't mad at Justin for hooking up with Carrie at all, or Amber for hooking up with Justin. Justin isn't even on this reunion to catch any heat. He's doing his anthropology homework on Instagram Live and chuckling at this whole thing. All I'm saying is there is a reason Chappell wrote casual after Justin and Max graced our television screens. They were the blueprint. There are so many reasons that this season sticks out to me. For one, it's not a competition the way, say, The Bachelor is, where everybody has to pretend that they're all equally attracted to this one person. It's a lot more about people getting to know everybody. And because of that, it feels a lot more realistic, even though it's just as produced as any other reality show. It wouldn't be a very interesting show if they just guessed it in 4 episodes. So the producers try and make it as hard as possible. For one, the contestants aren't allowed to have pen and paper at any point on the show. And from the producer's side, they're telling the contestants that if they follow their hearts, if they look for what they need in a partner, they'll just be able to figure out their perfect match that way. Don't try and run the numbers. Just go off vibes. Trust the matchmakers. They would never steer you wrong. That premise alone is so funny because if you look at the success rate of couples after this show, it is, I think, the worst I've ever seen of any dating show. Guess how many people are still with their MTV assigned at birth perfect match today? Wrong, it's 1. There are actually more married couples who were confirmed not to be matches, or even couples who were from totally different seasons from one another, than there are perfect match couples. I am convinced that before anything, they find 20 people who they want on the show, and then they sort of reverse engineer the matches from there. This is reality TV. They're not genuinely trying to set people up with people that would actually be good for them. If I had to guess, I would think there's probably 1 couple each season where MTV sincerely believes they could make it. A lot more of the nice, normal people on the show are just automatically paired up with the absolute deviants, the ones no one wants to date, the villains of the season, because opposites attract. Balance. And inevitably, there's just a few couples at the end who get no screen time, and they're definitely just rolling the dice on who they get paired with. Are You the One is not The Bachelor. It's not even Love Island. It is the raunchiest, horniest show that involves math you could ever watch, I think. And mind you, this was the first reality dating show I ever watched. So when I started watching The Bachelor, that was light work to me. None of the people they cast on the show are ever looking to settle down or even be in a relationship at all. But I will say one of my big criticisms of Are You the One, not just this season, but all of them, is like a lot of low budget dating shows I've watched, I think Travis Kelce's Bachelor knockoff show also had this problem, is that there aren't any sort of alcohol limits that I can see because they rely on people's drunk antics to create drama. Not to say that the isolation and sleep deprivation that other reality shows get is some sort of paradise, but I do think that is important context watching this show. On top of the show being edited for maximum drama, these people are not making sober decisions a lot of the time. I also saw some criticism that this season felt performative, which I definitely get that, but we live in 2025 where brands won't even performatively associate themselves with pride, and I do think that's better than nothing. The other criticism I saw, which I do think is kind of funny, is some people thought that this was harmful to bisexuals because there is a stereotype that bisexuals can't be loyal, that they're horny, that they're going to cheat on you with all these people. But to those people, I would say, have you watched any other season of Are You the One? Because it is the exact same. And on top of that, people from this season, a lot of them come from smaller towns where they didn't have a big gay scene to begin with. A few of the contestants only just then started exploring their queer identity, their queer relationship. So of course, some of them are going to go a little buck wild, hopping from queer person to queer person. And I think that that should be encouraged. Of course, some people are going to be more attached to their potential perfect matches because in real life, it's usually a lot harder to come across someone with that in common and both know it and be okay with it. One day you could be making out with someone, the next day you're competing with that same person for someone else's attention. This format is just the perfect recipe for queer chaos, and frankly, I cannot believe that more shows haven't tried to rip this off. I'm waiting. And that is all I have to say about Are You the One? I hope y'all liked this one. And I've gotten quite a few requests from some of y'all to cover it as well, so I'm glad I'm finally getting around to it. If you want to see more from me, I stream sometimes and upload the VODs of that to my second gaming channel. Also, I upload monthly bonus videos over on Patreon on a bunch of fun topics like the bi-sister drama, Secret Lives of the Mormon Wives, Queer Ultimatum, and that's always available to people who support me over there. But if you're not interested in any of that, that's cool, that's fine. I get it. However, if you liked this video, you could feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.